Today is a special, it is 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, and the jest with which the whole country is celebrating in itself is something to be celebrated. We know, at least we know some of what he did, because he did much more than what we have been talking about. But unfortunately, his memory was receding from the collective consciousness of our people. It was made to appear as if our independence was a very friendly match. It is called transfer of power. It came to us through an act of British Parliament. And when we think of independence, again it's perhaps unique in the world that a country gets independent after a long period of subjugation, and its head of a state remains the same foreigner, continuing to be the boss. And when we say 15th of August 1947, we celebrate as Independence Day of India, was the whole nation, whole India made independent on the day? We know that on the day, the first India was truncated by those very people whom we have been all the time glorifying. And at the time, there were more than 560 independent countries within India. They were not just princely estates, because with the lapse of paramountcy, they have all become independent. And this great man made it possible to unite. And so we remember him on this day, and we are trying to know more and more about him, study more and more about him, not merely as an act of gratitude, because the person who sacrificed his whole life and who achieved so much, forgetting such a person, such a leader, of course it would be an act of ingratitude. So we remember also what he did, and it is also important that how he did it. We talk about how he united, not that how, but we talk about that he united India, brought all those small and large, because some of the princely estates which had become independent were larger than many European countries. Some of them were larger than France. But how he did it? I think history becomes relevant also from the point of view that we learn lessons from it. First, the sacrifices that went into getting the independence. It appears to us the kind of literature that we have been teaching to our students as if there was nothing much happened. The fact that the millions of people, they gave their lives, millions and millions. In fact, I often say that when I came to this state, Tamil Nadu, and I wanted to know the number of freedom fighters from this country, from this state, I got a list which was under 40. And when in my tour to the state, when I found that there were a lot of people admirer of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose all over the state, and when we started identifying, we launched a special research project, and we could identify so far more than 4,600 people from this place who had gone and joined the Indian National Army and fought the British. More than 4,600 who went from this land. Not that Tamil people who were in Burma and Malaysia, I'm not including them, they went from here. Now that's one part of it, and the number is increasing. We think that it could be more than 5,000. So many, and many of them, they gave their life. So many. So independence that has come at such a heavy cost, we must be aware of the cost of it. Then we cherish the value, the worth of it. It didn't come as it is made to believe by many or by some. Sardar Patel, his work, it needs to be researched more and more studied, more and more documentation has to be done. It's also because we know that generations learn from the elders. Yada achariti shreshta tatra devi tarojana. Sa yat pramanam kurte lokastadunu vartate. As our leader, as the one who leads, their life becomes the guiding force for us. So what Patel did, it needs to be researched, documented more and more, not just merely a few anecdotes. How he did it, it was extremely difficult task. Imagine more than 550 independent countries within Bharat negotiating with them, and within a spell of less than 2 years, bringing them all, merging them into Bharat. It needed extraordinary clarity of vision, what the person wanted to achieve. It needed enormous conviction that yes, we have to achieve, and an extraterrestrial deftness. Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. How he applied all. And it was not uniform. Imagine, small states also. When you make them merge, how do you merge? How do you organize them? Imagine 222 small states. First united them as the United States of Kathiawad and then merging into largest. More than 26 states on Odisha. How to merge them? All these and different tactics. As I said, it's a lesson, well documented. It would be a lesson for us for the future, how to govern, how to negotiate successfully, and how to achieve something so seemingly impossible. Even we often talk about some states, those who were difficult, those who were not willing to come. What was the role of Sardar? How did he manage? People often say that, okay, he rebelled, he didn't listen to Prime Minister, and it is not so. He believed, he was a highly disciplined person. He believed in hierarchy, but he had a way of protesting. In fact, the anecdote, or it's not an anecdote, it's a fact recorded, that when Hyderabad issue came, and Razakars were playing havoc with the people because the desire for independence was there all over. Because senior advocate, Venkatesh mentioned about Bharat. There was no division in Bharat. It was the India which was in pockets. Bharat was one. So the desire for independence, the urge for independence, the angst for freedom, it was all over. But when Hyderabad Nizam, his Razakars began committing atrocities, worst form of atrocities, and when Committee on Defense of the Cabinet kept meeting again and again, and Prime Minister kept deferring, saying that if we use force, what would the international community say? He was always conscious about that. In fact, in one such meeting, Sardar left the meeting in a half, took the paper, he said, look, I'm not being part of it. It created a crisis. Governor General Rajagopalachari, he went try to mediate. He says, no, I'm not coming further. I see every day, I get the news that what atrocities they are committing, and we are sitting witness to it. As luck would have it, a few foreigner women were assaulted. And when foreigner women were assaulted, that news was published. Then Prime Minister got the courage. Okay, now we can say that, yes, now we can act. And then the green signal was given, and within no time, Hyderabad was merged. Every incident, even Manipur, the way it was merged. Every merger is a story, is a case study. And we need more researches. I wish our universities have Sardar Patel chairs, where serious people, serious researchers should do their studies. I would also suggest I know that it would need resources, but I think resources can be mobilized. Now this trust, Sardar Patel Trust, Memorial Trust, Bhavan has been doing a series of exceedingly good work. Can we think of sponsoring researches? Some scholars come, they send a proposal. We want to do the research on, Sardar Patel, a PhD. Most of our PhD scholars in our state are doing without any stipend. We have about 6,500 PhD we produce every year through our state universities. They hardly get any amount. No, they all pay from their own pocket. Very few of them, they get only 5,000 rupees. Very handful of them, with our encouragement and initiative, they have started getting, UGC, that NET JRF, Junior Research Fellow of the UGC, where they get some decent money. But there are very handful of them. Now we can think of offering some research, this fellowship for research on Patel. We can think of 1 or 2 fellowship. Willing candidates can submit their proposal, committee can scrutinize it and can sanction it. Okay, you go and do with this university. University will be happy to do it so long they don't have any obligation, financial obligation. We need more researches. We need more studies. We need to document those. It's not enough to just one day in a year gather and then talk about it. It has to be institutionalized, it has to be celebrated. At the same time, this through deep dive researches, it has to be documented to make it helpful for us today and for our future generations.